Hey guys, Dr. Jason with your Health Hacks with Dr. Jason. Thank you for joining us again today. I want to tell you the story of how I got into the Wellness Way. And this was really life-changing for me, and typically that's how I've made most of my practice decisions, and the direction that I've gone is it's something that how my life has changed and what's going on. And this has probably been one of the most dramatic things in my life that's had such a huge impact on me. And so I wanted to tell you the story of how I got into Wellness Way, and believe it or not, it all starts with my wife. And my wife, every month during her cycle, got to where she had the absolute, just the worst cramps. I mean, she was in so much pain and she had so much bleeding, and I'm sorry if this is going to be a little gross to some people, but it is what it is, right? I mean, she couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't get out of bed. She was miserable. She couldn't work. She was just, I mean, her life going through her cycles every month was just wearing her out. She was becoming anemic. Her energy tanked. And I remember one day she looked at me and she said, you know what? She said, if having surgery, if having a hysterectomy will make this stop, I will do anything to make this stop. And if it will make it stop, then I want to go that route. Now, obviously I'm a chiropractor. The thoughts of any type of surgery drive me nuts. They scare me. I don't want to go down that route because I know there's always consequences to that. And once you do it, you can't undo it. And you know, obviously the potential of throwing all her hormones off and all the things that are going to happen. But seeing my wife in so much pain and so desperate for relief, it's like, yeah, we'll do that, right? I mean, how many women have hysterectomies all the time and the world still goes on and they act like there's no big deal, right? Apparently I'm just not paying attention. But so she had the surgery, right? And everything went fine in the surgery, but they did a full hysterectomy on her. And then obviously afterwards they put the little estrogen patch on her. And it's not working right. Right? She's having issues. I mean, her hormones, she was all over the place. And kind of funny, it's kind of sad, kind of scary. I mean, one day, literally after that, when their hormones are all over the place, she looks at me and she says, you know, now I see how people, when their hormones are off, could kill somebody. That may sound funny, but she was talking to me, so it made me a little bit nervous at the time. But you know, she had all these hormonal issues, and so she goes to her medical doctor, right, after the surgery, and it's like, hey, we've got all this stuff going on, we need help. Did they run more tests? No. Did they try to find out, you know, what the solution was? No. Did they offer any other solutions? You know, their solutions were, well, let's try this different drug. It's basically the same thing, but a different form. Well, guess what? It's the same result. So that was no better. She goes back to him. She's like, look, this still isn't better. Can we not run some tests? Can you not figure out what's going on? Can we not do something to help balance this stuff out? And their answer was, you know what? We can give you Prozac. Now, that pissed me off. I think it pissed her off too. Excuse my language. She's not having a mental condition, right? She's not crazy. She's not losing her mind and suffering from depression. Her hormones are messed up, partly because of the surgery that you did. Help us to balance this out. That was their final answer. And so we're so frustrated. And literally one day she looked at me and she said, you know what? If I had known that I was going to feel like this and be like this after the surgery, I never would have done it. I know, oh my gosh, it just crushed me, all right? It just crushed me. I mean, I'm a doctor. I should be able to figure this out. This is my wife. I love my wife, and I want to help her. And so that's where I'm still looking for answers. I'm still trying to find the answers. And I find this guy named Dr. Patrick Flynn. I find some of his stuff, and he's got this group called the Wellness Way. And I'm listening to him speak, and I've never heard anybody else talk about hormones and speak about this stuff like this guy is. And it all makes total sense, right? And the crazy thing is, he's a chiropractor. I'm like, what's a chiropractor doing all this stuff? But you know, he explains we're the only ones that really can solve it, because medicine, they don't think outside the box, right? They see that there was a problem. Well, we cut the problem out. We're done. Our hands are clean. We've done our part. There's nothing else for them to do. Oh, well, we'll throw the drug at you. That drug should work. And if it doesn't, then you fall through the cracks and you're on your own, and that's what you're stuck with. But you know what? They never asked why. Why did she have such awful periods? Why were things out of balance? Why did all of that start in the first place? How do we balance these things out? How do we restore your health back to normal? And that's what the Wellness Way is all about. Their motto is, we don't guess, we test. And so, what a great comment that he made. He said, women, how many of you had your estrogen tested? He's like, wrong. He's like, there's no such thing as estrogen. They're estrogens. There's 7 of them. How many of you had all 7 of your estrogens tested? If you haven't had them all tested, then how do you know where the problem is? How do you know how to fix that? So it's not that the other things they did were necessarily wrong. It was just incomplete. And so seeing all these things and seeing the things that, he's got stories how he's helping patients with endometriosis. He's helping patients with infertility. He's helping people with thyroid issues, with gut issues, with autoimmune diseases, with all these things, and finding natural ways to restore people to health. And I was like, I've got to do that. I've got to learn this. And that's how I got into the Wellness Way. So now Liberty Chiropractic, we're now a Wellness Way affiliate. If you want to learn more about this, we do a workshop on Tuesday nights in the office. It's basically it's an inflammation talk, right? Most disease comes from inflammation. And, not to put down chiropractic, right? Chiropractic's a big part of it, because in essence, the 3 things that break down your health are trauma, toxins, and your thoughts. And if your posture is off, if your spine's jacked up, then that's trauma to your body. That affects how your body functions. It affects your immune system. It affects your overall function. That's a big piece of the puzzle. And so this is just more pieces to the puzzle, and it's putting more things together so that you can function better, you can be healthier. We're seeing amazing things, and I am so excited about this next chapter that we're doing. I appreciate you guys being part of our group. Continue to like and share this. Share my story. If you know somebody else that's maybe going down a similar path, have them call us. Have them come to the inflammation talk. Learn more about it. So we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.